a ton of fantastic news for the Habs coming out recently as, number one, Team Slovakia has made the Olympics, where we will get to see an upgraded version of Slav and how other teams are going to end up having to handle him, plus some more comments, more and more every single day coming out about Ivan Demidov and just how good of a teammate, a friend, and a player he is, and how happy he is to be a Montreal Canadian. We got a bunch of other stuff too. We got Patrik Laine coming out, getting his jersey for the first time, and Marty Necas actually mentioning the Habs, saying that there might have actually been something to those Necas to the Habs rumors. So we got a bunch of awesome stuff coming up on this live episode of Habs Digest. Despite the travel, despite everything, we're back here in the studio. We got everything going. Jesse, are you excited for our Monday Labor Day live stream?
I'm super excited to be here because we know the season's getting close, right? We got lots to talk about. The anticipation's getting palpable at this point, so I'm excited here to get into it today.
Whew, it's gonna be a nice spicy day. As I'm looking through the chat, we got channel members. That's Alex above. That's XL Sparta. I got lots of people chatting about a bunch of different things there. Let's all get it. Ahoy, all congratulations, Blanco Team Slovakia making the Olympics. That's something we're gonna get into later. We're gonna have a fun talk about that. Denis Rongier. Denis, such a fantastic fan of ours, giving so many gifted subs to people. One of the most wonderful people in these chats. Thank you for being here, Denis. Hello to everyone. If I don't say your name, I'm sorry, but again, there's so many people. We got Hoopty, we got Phoenix the Fox, Jaden, Henry Wong from YYT, Bongrath, Real Milton Bradley. Hello, Denis Blanco and everyone. There's so much. I hope you, Jesse and Josh, have been good. We have been good. We've actually had a really good weekend, good few days. Got to spend some time with our friends, family, loved ones. I went back to Newfoundland. We're all doing all kinds of great things, but you know what? At the end of the day, we're still here to bring you guys some Habs content. And Jesse, let's start with the newest Hab, our boy Patrik Laine, as he has officially got his jersey. Oh boy, doesn't 92 just look right? Laine getting 92, and I know Demidov, well, he wears 11 over, and he's worn 11 before. I don't think he'll get that in Montreal. 91 seems to be the case for him. Can you imagine Demidov and Laine 91 and 92? But Jesse, seeing him in this jersey, I mean, despite the RBC patch, it still looks so good on him, and I don't know, man. Everything I'm seeing from him, he seems absolutely thrilled, and I cannot wait to see him get on ice. This is just the teaser.
Yeah, he landed in Montreal with the red suit, repping the Habs, ready to go right away. And I think that 92, it's kind of like symbolic of a shift for him, of just kind of that fresh start that he needed. Like, he's the same player. That 29 is still there. We're just new and improved. We're just going to kind of switch things up a little bit while still keeping to this amazing player that it is. Of course, this just need to happen. Ken Dryden's numbers up in the rafters as it should be in the Bell Center. But for me, it's like these small things, right? Of like, of course, you think of like Demidov at 91, Laine number 92, side by side on a line together. It's like, only those certain players I feel can get away with wearing those numbers in the 90s. Let's blame Wayne Gretzky for that. It's like, you almost need to earn it. There needs to be something special to your game, if you're an offensive player wearing these type of numbers. And I think Laine completely deserves it. We know he's loving the fashion already in Montreal, so very much making himself at home.
Oh yeah, those pants were a choice. Can you see him better in this one? I mean, look at this outfit. I mean, oh my goodness, a fashion icon. He's gonna fit right in with the culture here, Jesse. And numbers in the 90s. That's it comes and goes, depends on the player. I mean, but look, 92 is a number that we had high hopes for a number of years. It ended up not working out with Jonathan Drouin, but hoping Laine can bring that back. But I wanted to get a poll going right off the bat in this stream, Jesse, and you guys actually probably won't see me typing because we're in this view, but I'm going to start the poll. We ask a lot about goals from Laine because naturally that's what he does best, but I'm going to ask, assuming he plays a full season or roughly a full season, say somewhere between 75 and 80 games, you can just roll with that. How many points will a healthy Laine get this year? And I'm going to give you a few options. Let's see, I don't know, what do you think is the lower bound on that, Jesse? Sub 50?
Sub 50 is fair, I would say.
Okay, so let's say sub 50, 51 to 60. I mean, we're just eyeballing this. We don't know what's right. 61 to 70. I'm gonna say 61 to 70. I think that's reasonable, and then we'll go 70 plus for the last option. I think that's conservative. I think some people might have him higher, but there's the poll. Everyone go, feel free and vote, because I think with Patrik Laine, Jesse, I think people are starting to I don't know if I want to say underrate the other aspects of his game, because let's be honest, I mean, he's known for his goal scoring, and there's a reason for that, but I can see in this world on Montreal is, first of all, we got our first big thing here. We got Brian Lalonde. My goodness, Brian has upgraded to the Rocket Richard tier. Brian, thank you so much. Brian, message me on Facebook or Instagram. In fact, the best way is to direct message Habs Digest on X. There's a Habs Digest X account. Direct message us. We'll be adding you to the Rocket Richard group chat. You'll be having video calls with us. I think that's coming up maybe this week, if not this week, next week, Jesse. So give some shout outs to Brian. Everyone there, shout out to Brian Allen. Thank you so much. That's unreal.
Welcome, Brian. This is absolutely amazing.
Oh, we got a new homie, says Alex. That's right. You'll be exposed to Alex's hot takes. Again, message me directly on the Habs Digest X account. We'll get you into the group chats. We'll get you everything going. Well, what a way to start off this. By the way, I just want to put out another PSA. Piron Law Druid, you'll see their name come up down here. I have a note here. They're a Rocket Richard tier member, but I haven't seen them message in any live streams. There might be something in comments that I've missed, and if I have, I really apologize. But again, the biggest thing, if anyone knows who that is, or if you're here in the chat, message us directly on X. I might pin that in the comment of videos because we want to get you involved too. So, unbelievable stuff. Thank you so much. Happy Labor Day to everyone. What a great start. What was my train of thought? I was saying that I think Laine, with the right line mates, Jesse, I think he put up more assists than we think he can. Look at what Caufield did this year. I think certain focus on certain parts of his game could really do him some wonders, and I think the point total might be higher than people are expecting.
And that's just the thing with him playing with Kirby Dach. We know like he's more of a playmaker, so that does fit naturally into Patrik Laine. I've kind of finished that off, but we know Kirby Dach can score as well, and I think just playing with a little bit of better teammates, I think definitely can help just getting a little bit more of his assists up, right? Like if we're looking, he's had some solid years of goal scoring, but because he's such a goal scorer, still not getting a ton of points, but just having some teammates that could really finish off these opportunities for him. I think, kind of what lends for me, like I see, 60, 70 plus points very easily for myself, just for the fact we know the goal scoring is there. But like you said, Josh, like that playmaking, getting more assists this season, I think we can definitely expect that from a healthy Patrik Laine.
I would love to see that. I'd love to see him get a little bit of an up of a game defensively too. I think there's a lot of great stuff that could go on. But yeah, I think Laine, I think we're all excited. As I'm going to take a quick look at the poll. Wazo Premier channel member 2. Good evening, guys. Happy Labor Day to all in the chat. Denis Ranger says, what is Rocket Richard? Rocket Richard tier is a tier where you get to have a video call with us every few weeks. You get to suggest ideas for videos. By the way, Alex and Doug, if you're in the chat too, you guys can still tell us ideas that you want us to cover specifically in videos. I know we cover some stuff in streams, but if there's ever something you're like, do this as a topic in a video, we will do that occasionally. So that too. But again, of course, priority responses, this and that. But the big thing is you're in a private group chat with us, get to just chat with us about the Habs, video calls with us, and get to share ideas for videos. So that's the big thing there, Denny. Joseph Donovan, what's up, boys? First games of exhibition on the 23rd and 24th. We're getting so close, Jesse. It's unreal. And the lineup, that's one thing. The lineup has been something a lot of people have been talking about. Who's going to make it, who's going to go in. But there's one guy we were talking about a while ago that could maybe have been a Montreal Canadian. What a transition that was. That's Marty Necas. He got interviewed. I think it was TVA Spal, and on the most Czech or Slovak street I've ever seen. Like that, if I picture Czechoslovakia, that's exactly what I picture. Of course, he's in Czechia right here, but still, Marty Necas was interviewed, and I'm going to bring up some of the quotes that he had. So let's bring this up. He said, yeah, I heard a lot of things about Montreal, and I believe there were actually discussions between the two teams, which is really interesting. And he went on to say that Montreal is one of the biggest, grandest teams in the NHL. You see the passion from the fans, and I saw a lot of rumors, but I'm staying here in Carolina. I gotta say though that the Bell Center is one of my favorite arenas to play in. It's always loud, and the ice is of an excellent quality. And of course, that's one of the things they pride themselves on. He goes on to say how there's a lot of other places that don't necessarily have good quality, but to hear from himself, Jesse, how much he really appreciates Montreal, how much he loves the fans, the organization, and to hear that there were some talks between maybe the Habs and the Hurricanes to get him is really interesting to hear from the man himself.
Yeah, great fans, great ice. We definitely pride ourselves on that. Thank you so much, Martin. So what this really confirms, and of course we were talking about this over the summer, like there was this so much rumors involving Martin Necas. It's almost like a miracle that for somehow he really was able to make amends with the Hurricanes here. But we see like Kent Hughes had a plan. It was either plan A, plan B, plan C. He was going to add firepower to this lineup. We know there's talks with Jonathan Marchessault. Okay, the term was just a little bit too long. Did fall in place with Necas. But maybe we're just getting that right fit after all with Laine. But, amazing to see just that openness that Necas was having to come over. He says, I was very much open to the idea. I know like the passion of the fans is just absolutely next level. Josh, I'd like to ask you though, because I know you were really big on this player. And it's like you kind of took it to heart, like when we knew finally we weren't going to get a chance at him. Like, what's your thoughts kind of looking back and hearing that he was really open to coming to Montreal?
My thoughts looking back is that I prefer what we did with Line A. That's kind of the way I'm thinking about that. Like right now, I mean, you know, if the Line A trade didn't happen, I think I'd have very different thoughts. But I think the Line A trade actually makes more sense for what Montreal's kind of going for in the short term, at least. Like Necas, there is, I mean, look, there's unknowns with both of them. But what you'd have to end up giving up to get Necas, even though he was an RFA, would probably have been more than just a Jordan Harris, right? So it's like, and there's no guarantee you're getting necessarily a better player, though Necas is younger and he's more of an all-arounder for sure. But the thing is, Line is so different. So, but specifically on the Necas front, I mean, I don't know if I would say it hurts, but it's like, I'm just really glad that Kent was in those conversations. At the end of the day, they couldn't do anything, which means to me that Kent Hughes was like, okay, Carolina, your price is too high. I'm not going to do it. And honestly, the one thing that I get out of that is that Montreal is still operating with the sense that, like, we're just going to do something if it makes sense for us. So I'm actually very glad they didn't overpay for him, despite the fact that he seems to, you know, he seems like a kind of guy that would have really embraced Montreal.
Yeah, and his goal this year is to become that point per game type of player. That's where he had a strong year last year, but it was still a little bit of a step down of what we kind of normally expect. So that's how he was able to find his way back with the Hurricanes. They said, okay, we're going to give you an increased role. You know, might have been a little bit of an awkward conversation after they had a couple of stars leave, of then kind of coming back and rehashing those conversations there. But there is a solid player there. And a big thing that will help his game next year is, again, he did play very well in the playoffs, which I have to say is very impressive when we're just kind of talking about this player. I think we definitely need to take that into account. But he said he learned from Alex Kovalev, a former Montreal Canadiens great, to like not so much play on the peripherals and really kind of get inside those hash marks, play more of an interior type of game. And he credits that to really helping him a lot. Myself, Josh, I would have to completely agree. Like, because I think Line A, not only is there that very high scoring, like elite level goal scoring, which I don't think Necas quite necessarily has, but then also that size. You know, I think that Line A, there's maybe a little bit more of a bet. You'd kind of know a little bit more of what you're getting. Okay, if Martin's coming over here, of what we kind of project for him for points and everything else. But that's kind of the beauty of Line A. And for me, it's like, as long as he's a healthy player, that's the only question. Like Patrick Line is going to get points. He's going to score goals in the NHL. If he's healthy, he's just too big. He's just too good. So that's really the main question. We know the Habs have put such a focus on really improving, you know, athletic therapists and just everything to really help and provide, you know, safer environments for these players to really play through the season, stay healthy. But after all, I am very happy with Patrick Line coming to the Habs here.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's cool. I think it's a cool thing, but at the end of the day, it didn't happen. He's not a Montreal Canadian. Could he be in the future? You know, I guess that door's not shut, but for now, we'll just roll with what we got. As I'm going to take a little look through the chat again. I'm going to end that poll just to see what it ended up at. And Jesse, it seems like the majority of people are saying Patrick Laine is going to get between 61 and 70 points, with 51 and 60 not far behind, and 70 plus not far behind either. Only 9% of voters saying he's going to get under 50, which I think is pretty reasonable. So let's go take a look at some of the chats because there's so much stuff in here. And we got Joseph Donovan again. By the way, guys, donations and channel memberships get priority when I'm reading the chats because, as you can see, there's a ton. I will try to get to messages, but if I don't read your message, again, it's nothing personal. It's just there's a lot of stuff to get to, and we got news to talk about as well. Joseph says boys gonna be wrestling spots from each other. That's very true. Brian says, hey guys, love what you do. Watch every day. Timing for the live Monday worked out well today. Well, Brian, again, if you're still watching right now, please reach out on X, on Twitter, message the Habs Digest account directly. I'll respond to you. We'll get you involved in the group chats. We'll get you involved in the video calls with myself and Jesse because that tier of membership, again, we sincerely really appreciate that, and we want to make sure you get the most out of that. You know what, Jesse, I think maybe after this, why don't we just create a little video, members-only video for the Rocket Richard here on the channel, just maybe as a tutorial. We can maybe get something like that going after, just to make it easier. But thank you again, Brian.
Absolutely.
Amazing stuff. Denise saying we'll be a contender for the playoffs. That's a fact. Hey, I'm on board with that, Denis. I think most people, I think it's possible. I don't think they're going to be as bad as people say. Joseph says Cole is going to be amazing this year with Slaf and Nick. That's actually going to be interesting. You know, okay, I'm going to read a couple more chats, but I kind of want to revisit that really quick before we get into the other stuff. Rafi, welcome back, Rafi. I think Laine was a better trade. Agreed. Denise says 2 good trios will put less pressure on the first one. I completely agree. Joseph saying we need a prospect battle royal. I can't wait to see the blue line competition in training camp. And who is this troll? Look, they're not saying anything bad. They're just saying the Habs moves were bad. And hey, we're not about suppressing. We got someone in chat, Jesse, saying how Nature's worth more than Newhook. Newhook trade was a mistake. Jesse really knows what's up when he speaks, so it's not all negative. It's just that this person doesn't necessarily agree with every Habs move, and that's okay. We're not going to suppress opinions, whether it's a troll or not. I don't care. We're welcoming all kinds of people into this chat, and I like having this, Jesse, because it sparks conversation.
It is, and that's what we're here to do, right? And we want to be fair, and we're never trying to just throw shade at a player for no reason. But there is a part where we definitely need to be, honest and assessing, and it's okay for us to have different opinions. We know we like to keep it positive, though. Just obviously, there's so much amazing things happening with this team right now. But obviously, when you're getting young players and somebody like a Newhook, like the jury's not on him. Like for sure, he did end his season well last year, but he knows he's got a lot to prove. He wants that spot in the top 6. He wants to kind of grow with this team. So you have to feel like he's going to do everything to make that happen, Joshua. Like, I'm not just saying this because he's from Newfoundland, though. I have to say, I just like a player that's able to work hard like Newhook. Even though if the points aren't coming right away, I feel if you just play the game a little bit like you mean it, with a little bit of passion. I think Marty St. Louis were the first one to admit as well. It's like the points kind of come as a result for that, so I'm looking for Newhook to take a step up even further next year.
I think there's some confusion here in the chat because I'm looking, okay, let me just go through this because I think you're right. I think they were talking about XL Sparta saying trade Dach for Necas, trade Newhook for Necas. Yeah, okay. I mean, like that I guess is maybe a bit more trolly, but I thought I saw someone ask you. So anyway, you know what? Sometimes it's hard to keep track of everything going on in the chat, so I wasn't saying anything negative about you. Anyway, we're gonna leave that. I just know that everyone here is super nice, and hey, you know what? We're gonna keep this positive vibe. I'm sorry if I specifically picked out someone or something like that. Newhook is awesome. It is what it is. But I wanted to revisit that other message earlier before getting into the other stuff, Jesse, and that's specifically going into the chat's going wild. No, he's not an instigate. Anyway, it's like, okay, I'm not gonna read it. You guys can go at each other in the chat if you want, just as long as it doesn't get too crazy. If it gets too crazy, as you guys have seen, not afraid to mute you because some people get a bit rowdy in those chats. Not, anyway,
they do.
Just stay chill and all is good. Specifically top line, Caufield, Suzuki, Slafkovsky, Jesse. That line, I mean, we've talked a lot about naturally. Okay, they're going to be great next season. We have like kind of predictions and stuff, but like to me, I think that line could I think all three of those guys, Suzuki's probably the guy that's projected to take the smallest of a leap, if that makes sense. Like he's closest to his prime. I mean, his leap would be from 77 to maybe like 82, 83 points. I think that's what I would maybe expect. But like Caufield is primed for a breakout season in goals, like a re-breakout, I guess, because of his shooting percentage. And Slav, I don't even know what to expect. This guy is getting better at an insanely fast rate. So like that kind of trio there, like I'm starting to think like the more I think about these guys, the more I think this could compete for like, I'm not going to say one of the best lines in the NHL because that's crazy, but by some advanced metrics, they were up in the conversation even last year. And I think they might be better than most other teams' fans are going to expect.
And that's the whole thing about having a center that's also plays a really solid defensive game is that eventually as the team gets a little bit more competitive, his underlying numbers for Nick Suzuki are going to be absolutely unreal. We saw not that long ago, I'm talking, we're talking about the Bergevin area, but with like Danault, Tatar, like that was consistently ranked as some of the best lines in the NHL just because of Danault's defensive game, right? Like just those underlying numbers where Suzuki has that, but obviously much better offensively. And then you're throwing in obviously somebody like Slafkovsky who can just make so much happen. So again, like a very strong two-way center, a guy who can just kind of mix up, can score goals, do a little bit of everything, create turnovers for you as he does. He's a big boy. And obviously Caufield, he's going to have a big step up next year. Like when I'm thinking about like which Hab next year is going to have the Beck year, like the safe answer would probably be Nick Suzuki, like you said, for the reason he's more in his prime, like scoring 30 plus goals, being a point per game guy. Like, yeah, he might have the best year out of anybody. Like, I have to feel like Slav is going to take a big jump up. Caufield's going to be giving them a run for the money, and Line as well. It's like, and it's possible that the only like Line and Suzuki, who knows, could really be battling it out, right? In terms of having the best effect on this team. We know Suzuki plays that two-way game. That's so valid, that defense, but obviously a lot to be said about lighting up the lamp, which Line can do. So I'm really kind of looking forward to seeing like who's going to have the biggest effect on this team next year. And you have to feel though, like that line is just going to continue to marinate. even though line is coming in, you got to keep that line together for a little bit. You got to let them cook, let them get into a groove. And once you see that they're still doing well, then experiment from there. But we need to kind of solidify that even further first.
I completely agree. You might see some stuff in the preseason, but I think to start the season, I think they're gonna experiment in the preseason. But I think once the season starts, it's gonna be the lines we expect. As I gotta go back to the chat, Jesse. We got 5 more gifted memberships from Denis Rongier, Santa Claus himself, gifting out the memberships like crazy every stream. Thank you so much, Denis. Ice Sticker, James C, the Joester, Daryl, and Sébastien Gilbert Pourvalik. You've all been gifted channel memberships from Denis Rongier. Feel free to use your new emoticons in the chat, as you've seen some other people use, and I'll send them here now, and you'll get priority response in these chats, comments. Whenever we take a look at the comments, we go give some hearts and we respond to you guys. Thank you so much, Denis. Unbelievable stuff. Absolutely love that. So anyone who's a new channel member, feel free to message in the chat there. Denis Malteresa Rongier. I think that's pretty much it. I gotta go back and look through the chat. There's so much positivity here. And hey, there's no problem, XL Sparta. Obviously, there's no worries. I know you're just getting excited. Look, that's one thing. The chat never gets too off the rails here. There's like maybe even a couple of people. Like, we just love that passion, honestly. Joseph Donovan saying passion. Habs fans, exactly. Tatar. I know Blanco loves Tatar, that's for sure. Frank Daig, long time channel member. Frank Slavzilla, that's right. We got some good back and forth here in the chat. Real Milton Bradley, Mal Teresa. Some unreal stuff. Some absolutely amazing stuff going on in the chat. But I think that first line, Jesse, is going to be really interesting to watch. I do think it will change before the season's over, at least in a couple games, because I think they're going to try. But if they're rolling, like you said, like, you don't change something that's working, right? If it's not broke, don't fix it. But it is what it is, and I think you guys are going to have some nice discussions in that there too. But I want to move on, because we spent a lot of time on that. There's some other stuff I wanted to get into, and I wanted to get into Demidov really quick. Actually, this one first. It was an article that is linked down below in the description if you want to go check it out. Ivan Demidov's close friends share stories about him. He's incredibly happy to be a Canadian. It's from Gregory Hamill. And one quote that I wanted to pull out of here, one said, Ivan is incredibly happy to be a Canadian, says Serafim Nizovtsev, a childhood friend who still maintains regular contact with him. He admits his good friend often speaks fondly of his experience on draft night. Grigory Osipov, Demidov's teammate for 2 seasons in the NHL, believes Montreal made the right decision. Quote, Ivan is an outstanding player. His skills and playing style make him virtually unstoppable. He can score and single-handedly shift the momentum of a game. He does it regularly, Osipov explains before adding, if he continues to develop like this, he will become a very rich man. And look, I just want to say, before this stream even started, Jesse, there were some people saying, like, let's not get Demidov's ego up too high. Or there's people saying, yeah, he already thinks he's a generational talent. But I love that stuff. I think he will be a rich man. And honestly, I would love if he became a rich man in Montreal's jersey, because especially this front office, they're not going to make someone a rich man if they don't think they deserve to be a rich man. So I'm super excited about this. And to hear how happy he is to be in Montreal, just like, it warms my heart. Every day we're hearing something even more positive about Demidov.
He's going to be a rich man because he's putting in the work to really make it happen. Apparently from his teammates, they're also saying that he arrives at the arena before all other teammates, that he has to. He doesn't have much superstitions, but that's one thing. He basically sleeps there. He's just there all the time. Trains incredibly hard. So again, these are all amazing words. It's like that he's so happy to be in Montreal because we know that the talent's there. And for me, it's like, if the talent's there and also his heart and he's happy to be in Montreal, this was the right spot. This is what he picked. There wasn't any pre-draft controversy. Okay, we won't get into that. We won't relive that saga again. Shit. But this player wanted to be in Montreal. We wanted him here. It's basically a match made in heaven. And another nice thing that we're really hearing from this player, why he fits this Montreal organization so well, is that apparently from his teammates, we're hearing that like he would always include the greater team, kind of like if they were making plans to kind of do something, it was always involving the entire team. It wasn't just kind of like his little clique of players, that he's a team first kind of guy. Like, Josh, who does that make you think of right off the bat?
Say those. Sorry, I was distracted because there's some crazy stuff going in the chat. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah. When we're talking about a team first guy like an Ivan, where he's saying he's including everybody in the plans all the time, whenever he's doing like team first, that's what matters to him. Which player on the Habs comes to mind the first for you?
You know what? What's funny? Like, the entire top line kind of comes to mind. Suzuki, I think, is one of the guys who's doing that a ton as captain, but also like even Slav and Caufield, we see so much from them. I would probably say Suzuki, but like honestly, the whole first line.
They're fun guys. And like for me, Slav as well, right?
Yeah.
It's that we're drafting again, like consecutive, like team first guys. They care more about just winning, about the team doing well. So for me, like, these behind the stuff scenes, like, these aren't just friends, like, these are teammates, like people that know this player very, very well. So again, just hearing it, we're seeing all footage. It's kind of getting leaked of like Demidov dancing. He's having fun, staying loose at the arena. He's just showing, like a happy-go-lucky guy. And like you said, like, it's not just Slap though. No. Like Cole Caulfield's like that. Like, he likes to have a ball at the arena, joking around. Nick Suzuki, of course, is like super, like, likes to be inclusive with everybody. Yeah, all the time. Like, yeah, like, and he's such a good leader while still being humble, which for me is the, kind of the best way to do it. So again, we're like drafting somebody who's such a perfect fit just for our overall organization. Like, we know that the talent's there, all these other things, but you put that hard work, team first mentality in the picture, like, Josh, I can't get over it. Like, it just kind of seems a little bit too good to be true. But you know what? It is true, and we deserve it.
Absolutely. And like, I saw one chat there. I was like, guys, I'm getting nervous. When was the last time we were this positive about the Habs? It's very true. It's like, it's a bit nerve-wracking to have this expectation, because for so long now we didn't have that expectation. Now that it's coming back, there's going to start to be some more negativity, some more people getting worried, but I think we're good. But Jesse, I got to get back to the chat because a bunch of stuff happened during that Demidov section. The main one being that Simon Desjardins gifted 5 more memberships to wonderful people in chat. So, Alpm, Simon, he said, I got my sub from Denis. I feel like giving back too. Keep it up, Denis. Well, thank you so much, Simon. What an unbelievably kind thing to do. And we got DocFan77, RPM, Pizza603, longtime chatter as well, Hubtown Hammer, and Filip Valois were all gifted memberships. And oh, wow, my goodness. Guys, leave a like on that. Reply. Holy, Jesse, $50 from Denis Rongier himself. I mean, that's absolutely unbelievable. Like, I can't even. Like, I want to say, like, what did we do to deserve that? I mean, I know we work hard, obviously, but like, that kind of kindness just, yeah, it kind of leaves you speechless sometimes. And I know the people in the chat are leaving some love for Denis as well, but like, sometimes I don't know what to say when the fans kind of show their appreciation that much. Just thank you.
Did he just for being for the community so much, Simon, for following up that spirit? Like, we just can't tell you how much we appreciate, our valued viewers so much. Like, this show would be nothing without you guys. Like, for sure, Josh and I, we love chatting about the Habs. We do that on the reg, but it's you guys that really make the difference, right? Of just making this so much fun, this community be able to grow. Like, we love hockey, and the fact that we get to watch it with you guys, get to talk about it. Like, honestly, it's just totally a dream come true, and we're so thankful.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's it. Like, I mean, again, like, we work hard to do this every day, but to see that kind of support coming from you guys, and again, like, nothing is expected from the fans. Like, we don't expect anything, any monetary, anything. You guys watching the videos, it's just the fact that you watch and you leave likes, which, by the way, you should probably do on this stream as well. I mean, probably not the best time to ask for that, but it came to mind. Sometimes I forget. I forgot to ask this stream. But, like, just your support of just clicking on our video, clicking like, and leaving a comment does more for us than you could know. Like, seriously, even, like, every single person that does that, especially like in the grand scheme of everything we do at Digest Media and stuff, all these other channels, those single interactions, those single comments, those single views, they go a long way. So if you ever think like, you're not doing anything, it's not true. Because even just watching us, even once every now and then, does more than you could ever know. So unbelievable stuff. And thank you so much for all the nice chats to Denis and to us as well. But yeah, it is super fun. I mean, insane. Talking about this team and his future has been a lot of fun since Gordon and Hughes took over. We got people saying, yeah, I mean, that's very true. That's the thing. I think we say that pretty much every single show, Jesse, how good they're doing. I'm still like kind of reeling from that. Like, that's wild. We got Slovakian Tomáš Egri saying, greetings from Slovakia, watching us for 2 years. Like, stuff like that, right? People coming in saying they've been watching for 2 years on the verge of that. It's just like, bro, like, people come in. That's it. We're almost at a 2-year anniversary of the channel, Jesse. It'll be 2 years in a month or so.
I can't believe at the time has just absolutely been flying by. I was just thinking about it recently as we're on the dawn of this new season, and it's just, it feels like yesterday, right? But, it just continues to grow. Now we're getting to do the lives. And again, that's just the fun part of it, of just watching this team kind of grow and getting to be a part of it. It's just, absolutely unreal. The fact that we can have, viewers from all around the world and just interacting kind of together for me is just kind of a special thing.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, as we're getting closer, the interaction is getting better and better. And the fact that we're in August and you guys are tuning in as much as you are is actually kind of insane. Like, you look at so many other channels, there's not much news and still not the same, it's the same amount of news for us, but you guys are showing up and supporting us. So anyway, I think we'll probably get off of that tangent, but just know that we're always thinking about that tangent. Like, every single day, this kind of stuff is on our mind. So thank you again. And I think that's a good transition. Now that we have some Slovakian viewers in the chat, of course, we got Planko, we got Tomáš. I'm sure we got a lot more. Let's talk about Slovakia making the Olympics. What an amazing thing for them. The teams are set. Slovakia, Latvia, and Denmark have all qualified for the Milano Cortina 2026 Olympics in men's ice hockey. And the brothers Pospisil put on a show for Slovakia. Jesse, Latvia and Denmark making it too is awesome. And they did all this. Slovakia without Juraj Slafkovsky because, he was held out, and I think Chernak was as well. So there was some interesting stuff going on. Slovakia didn't have their full strength roster, but they were lucky enough to get not too tough a division, and they came out on top. This, honestly, look, obviously, if Canada's knocked out, I think we're going for Slovakia and our boy Slav. This is what I'm so excited for. This is a guy, Jesse, Juraj Slafkovsky, that put up these numbers, 7 goals in 7 games at the Olympics in 2022 when he was 18. Can you imagine what might be in store for him next Olympics? Even after this World Championship experience recently, this has me beyond more hyped than I ever thought I'd be about Slovakian ice hockey.
This guy loves playing for Slovakia so much. Every time he puts on that sweater for Team Slovakia, he just absolutely tears it up. We saw 8 points in the recent World Championship as well for Slav. Just a total beast when it's coming to that international play. It seems like he always can play well, but you can tell that pride is there where he just kind of steps it up. And we see that even further as we're going now into 2026 is a lot of people are asking what type of role is Slav going to play on this team? You have to feel it's going to be a very prominent role, and it's going to be at a point in his career, a couple more years in the NHL under his belt. Will he start to play in a leadership type of role for Slovakia? And for me, the writing's on the wall. It's a clear and obvious yes. If you're a head coach going into this tournament, Juraj Slafkovsky is everything you look for in somebody who's going to be wearing an A, wearing a C. I know that's maybe a little bit further of a stretch, but still within the conversation that we should be having right now. Slav is going to be a leader for this young Slovakian team. We saw he won Slovak Player of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year. Just this very year, he's being looked to kind of carry the torch. He already has that motivation. So for me, I just can't wait to see him show out at this tournament.
Yeah, I can't wait. I know there's lots and lots and lots of people in the chat who are super excited about this as well. I see 25 goals, 40 assists for Slav this year. I think that's even arguably conservative, but I would also be thrilled with that. Go from 20 and 30 to 25 and 40. That's a pretty solid progression if you ask me, especially considering his line mates aren't really going to change, right? That shows a clear progression. I think he could get even more goals. It depends, because don't forget how nuclear his second half was, but also don't be afraid if he goes on a cold spell. He's still 20. He doesn't even turn 21 till the season's almost over. So he's going to go through some dry spells. That's going to happen with Slav, or it's not, and he just turns into the ultimate form of Slavzilla, and we just never have to worry about it. But still, absolutely insane stuff. Yeah, he could be absolutely unreal. So there's a bunch of stuff there. I want to go back to the chat though for a second, Jesse, and we're going to talk about Slav again in a second. I got a nice little poll I'm going to put up. I gotta look through because there's so many amazing chats coming from people. It's really great. Boston College SCH has battles for all positions at this point. It'll make guys raise their game. That's the thing we've talked about. A trial by fire. You got to do this kind of stuff. People talking about Jacob Fowler. Nemitz is injured. That's it too. I forgot Blanco. Of course, Blanco knows what's going on. Nemitz was injured too. So really, I think this team could be dangerous. A team is not made of a couple of players, but Slovakia has enough players to be sneaky good in this tournament. They are that Cinderella type team, I think, especially if Slav goes full beast mode, right? So it could be really good. While as Premier, most other places are always putting the negative ahead. We want to love the Habs. We're fed up of regular media's negativity. Negativity is just going to increase as we start to actually have expectations for this team to win. There's also a place for negativity. It's not like you can be sunshine and rainbows about everything, but always looking on the brighter side of things, I think is kind of what makes us do what we do, Jesse. I think that's kind of what happens, especially when you look at how many good things there are to focus on for Montreal.
But we see a lot of unnecessary critiques on this team. We don't want to name names. Something called with the finishing in something else, which a lot of negative takes on the Habs, a lot. And we do see from some Montreal newspapers and things like that where, you know, you can kind of almost learn to expect those negative takes. And we do want to kind of change that conversation and instead going to the negativity, going to the pressure. It's like, we know that there's pressure playing in Montreal, but there's also lots of great things about it as well. And that's what we should really be talking about, this kind of this next generation, right? And we see a lot of those major sports outlets. That's what's so nice about doing what we're doing, is that the Habs don't always get the support that they should. There's kind of that one team in Canada that seems like all the media focus on, when we're forgetting it's like, I think the Habs got the most fans, you know, here in North America, if we were probably to really count it all out. So I think that they definitely deserve that love. So that's why we're so happy to do that. And of course, it's for a reason, you know, and as this team continues to build forward, there's going to be more pressure. But if you're building things in a smart and sustainable way, as Ken is you're kind of, I don't want to use the word making yourself bulletproof, but it helps when you're building a solid foundation that your final product, I mean, if we're building this team properly, you know, we don't need to just critique it really for the sake of it. You'd have to say that there's a lot of thought that's been put in this team, that there's an overall vision, a standard that is just Kent Hughes is just not willing to compromise on. I think we all really appreciate and respect that. And that's why we're so happy to really represent the Habs in a positive light here.
Yeah, it's like, I'm proud to talk about this team every day. You know, everything they're doing, all the players, all the personalities. It's so many amazing things. So much left to come as well. As we got a little thing from Wazo Premier saying, I became a member when you were in the 2000s. I think there's a lot of people like, that's one thing. So thank you so much, Wazo Premier. But also the fact that there's so many people that were around from the start that are still here. It's absolutely insane. Blanco saying, I'm so sad Slav will not play in the 2025 World Championships because of the playoffs. Oh, baby, I love that. I love that take. I love that. Oh, he's getting ahead of himself, but I don't mind it. Joseph Donovan, yep, 20 pretty much in a half season. He did. We got lots of people. Steve Fowler from Bowmanville dancing. No, okay. Almost found the Steve Fowler, I guess. And then we're going to go on there. I saw someone ask, would you trade Newhook for Mercer? Well, here's the thing. You're not trading one Newfoundlander for another. That's never going to happen. You got to team them up or it's not going to happen at all. Oh, whoa. Jesse, we got a $55, 55-cent super chat from RM Real Estate. Wow. Thank you so much. They say long time watcher. Give some love to that. Give some love, people. Send your emojis in the chat. Give some love to RM Real Estate. Long time watcher, but almost never catch you guys live. Keep up the great work. So stoked for this year. Is it opening night yet? We're almost there, Ricardo. Ricardo from RM Real Estate. Wow, super chats are going bananas, Jesse. Some crazy support coming in from the fans here now. We just hit 100 likes too. I cannot wait for opening night. I cannot wait for the preseason. I cannot wait for the prospect tournament. And clearly the fans are excited too if they're willing to show their love in that unbelievable way to us. I mean, I think it's just that positive vibe, that feeling we're approaching the season every single second, Jesse. I'm super excited too.
Thank you, sir, for the donation. And yeah, absolutely. That's it. It's just like we're getting so close now. And that's the thing, is like Kent Hughes gave us reasons to be excited. Like, it's not for no reason. Like, I love how he's just rewarding the fans, and like we're seeing the chat, like they're excited. We've been excited as well. But like when the team's kind of taking these step forwards and you do these things to kind of encourage them, it just says about the morale, right? Not just of the organization of the team in the locker room, but like also the fans. We've kind of deserved this for a long time. The fact, okay, took a long time to do the rebuild, but we said we'll do it right. But the fact that, Kent's kind of throwing us that bone here and there. Okay, you're going to be patient. You're going to stand, behind us and really trust the plan. We're going to do these things that got to help you get even more hype. Because like I was already excited for the season. We know throwing in Patrick Laine though. Thinking about Demidov in a Habs jersey, thinking of them on a same line together, these unreal players. Like, how can you not get excited if you're a fan of hockey and thinking that these two guys, let alone all the younger talent that we have on the team, these players that we love, the Slap, the Coles, the Knicks, it's like, this is a lot of talent. This is some very good players. And I don't want to get ahead of myself, Josh, but I'm not going to lie. I've been on Daily Faceoff. I'm looking at lineups from other teams. I'm even looking at like the Colorado Avalanche, and like, I'm saying, you know what, like we're not there yet, but just a couple things and you can really get up there. Sometimes it feels like this pie in the sky to get to this contender status. But if you really study those rosters, it's just a couple key players in the right roles for them that really allows the team to flourish. And this is what the Montreal Canadiens are building.
Yeah, for sure. Like, again, they're pretty crazy. They got like legit arguably best player in the league, Nathan McKinnon, and then Rantanen. Hey, Slav is outpacing Rantanen, so I see where that's coming from there. Landeskog may be back this year, but that's, your Suzuki, your captain. And then, Lane Hudson is the Cale Makar. It's, it's like the cheaper version right now. But, it's not totally insane to say Montreal could put something together that's somewhat similar to that team build. Because I find it tough to say that they'll put together a team as good as that Avalanche team, because Demidov could be that next, legit, top 5 player in the NHL, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So you get there, you maybe do it, but, that's the thing. There's so much to be excited about. See, the season's not even started yet, and I'm as excited as the 93 playoffs as well as a premiere. Absolutely. It's insane. And we got RM Real Estate Production said something else again there. I don't want to get ahead of myself either, but man, with the talent pool, there's so much to be stoked about. That's the thing. Yeah. Jesse, we've said it a million times, but look at what they've done on ice already. No, I know it hasn't resulted in wins, but in terms of player quality and the growth in the players, not to mention the players we've never even seen at the NHL level yet, you combine all that together and you have, hypothetically, if you put these guys even at what they probably should be, or even maybe closer to their ceiling, you have a team of guys who are all you have an easy top 6 and then a stacked middle 6, which is what you need to really compete at that highest level, these deep lineups. And looking at what this could be down the line is maybe more exciting than anything else. It's what could it be? And maybe that's setting yourself up for failure and sadness in the long term, but I'm willing to put all my eggs in one basket at this point. I think I've seen enough.
You got it for sure. And even as this team continues to start getting a little bit more competitive, because the team is doing such a better job of drafting, I'm not worried about us getting those players that we need to kind of supplant, just how Dallas Stars were able to land a Stankoven. It's these type of teams, once they're competing, if you then have good drafting, you can start putting players like that in your lineup, like how we're able to get a Hudson in the second round. We're able to get Fowler in later rounds like this as well. It's when you're able to get those little steals, those are huge wins for your team, because it just allows you to keep building. So it's, again, the drafting that we had, not only had solid players, but it just lends for so much hope that we have this great prospect pool as it is. But with their track record that has really kind of turned around, it gives hope that even as we get more competitive, that they can still add very good players to continue building this team, because the organization as a whole is just becoming a lot stronger.
Yeah, it's the love for the team, the love for all things Habs is absolutely palpable right now. It's everyone's sharing. Can't you guys just feel that energy? These super chats, they're insanely generous. So thank you again for all these. But it also is it stems from that hype. It stems from everyone getting excited together and wanting to just explode with excitement, right? It's absolutely amazing. So thank you again. There's some great stuff there. We got line 8, the Demidov Slafkovsky line would be crazy. That would be nuts. I also saw Super Gujon. I saw you say g'day earlier from Australia. As always, tuning in from Australia for these Monday evening streams every single time. Going to be an awesome season. You got to believe it's time. Absolutely, completely agree. Jason saying, I'm going to try and get tickets against Josh's number 2 team. I want to see Flowers' last game in Montreal. I might have to do the same thing, Jesse. I might have to go down there and, see my Wild and see the Habs go one-on-one together. Of course, hoping for a Habs win, but, that could be a bit spicy. You see Kaprizov. You see what Demidov's going to turn into. And, could be good. But a little shout out to Marc-Andre Fleury. Last season in the NHL, I think it'd be nice to see him, get a shutout and lose in the shootout or something like that,
Oh, for sure it would be, for sure. No, that's it. And the Wild, they're a young team. I know they're getting under some bad contracts right now.
The last year.
So that's it, and they got a young, obviously, Wallsted's coming up. Yeah. We know what they got in Kaprizov, so lots to be excited there for sure.
Boldy, Marco Rossi, Brock Faber, so many good things. Do it every time. But you guys brought it up. You brought it up first. Joseph saying, smash that like for the Army. Yeah, guys, I asked it once briefly, but I'm just going to ask you, all 282 of you now, hit that like button. I want to see that hit 150 at least. Come on, we usually get close to 200. Let's see it hit 150. That's our, sometimes you can't ask every single stream. The time wasn't there for it, but I'd love to see that get close to 150. As we got another super chat from Doug Saylor. Just a quick hi. Well, Doug, I know it says Jordan, guys, but it's Doug. Just a quick hi. Well, thank you so much for stopping by, Doug. I'm sure we'll be talking in that group chat. And again, Brian, as I see you there, as soon as some of these prospects or rookies mature a little, it's going to be sick. Brian, again, reach out on X whenever you get a chance. We're adding you to the group chat. You got to get in there. You're a Rocket Richard tier member. We'll put a video up. We'll do something because we got to get you in these group chats as well, alongside Doug, alongside Alex, alongside hopefully Piron Law-Druid, wherever you are. Please reach out. Yeah, please reach. Okay. So I think Jesse, we might just be getting near the end of this now. I think we've been going for a while. Oh, you sent me a DM on Instagram. Let me check that. On the Habs Digest or on my personal? It looks like it's probably on Habs Digest, which I don't have that on this phone. So I will change it to the other phone and I will go check that. So thank you very much. Last thing, I think, Jesse, we'll go through a couple of these here. Power's running through the veins. The fire in their eyes makes us hopeful. Player development after the draft. That's what works with these kids. Agree. Brian saying, also Bartholomew says, can I get a shout out? You know what? I read your comment. So shout out Bartholomew. Shout out Bartholomew. Thank you so much. Brian saying, what do you think about the Habs and Blue Jackets becoming partners again? Habs helping the Jackets reach cap floor and then helping us get under the cap. That's a situation where, that's a tough situation that they're in. Obviously, maybe just take a second since we haven't said this live, Jesse, but of course, big rest in peace to Matthew and Johnny Gaudreau. Absolutely tragic. It's a tough situation in Columbus right now. Oh gosh, as soon as I started saying the sad stuff started rolling in, but I'm just gonna bring it back to the normal thing. Maybe just say this live, just for that fact. As for trade partners, I think the Jackets can get under the floor if they sign free agents. I think they can just bring in some minimum-ish contracts and still be there. But yeah, absolute tragedy, and you never know who it could be. Not just someone from your team, but a family member or a friend. So, the situations around it. Don't drink and drive. Yeah. Any words on that front, Jesse? I mean, I know we spent a bit of a video on it, but just maybe a quick thing live, just to say it one more time.
Yeah, definitely. We're just thankful to Johnny Gaudreau and obviously his family, for, what they've kind of done for hockey for so long here in Canada. So beloved, in Calgary and obviously in Columbus as well, making a way for those younger players. So it's obviously really sad when you're hearing this news where, to be honest, at the same time, though, I'm happy to see how, other creators have really kind of rallied behind and just their thoughtful outpouring of just showing that they don't just care about the stats, about everything. We care also about these people as individuals, they're human beings and they sacrifice their body, their health for our entertainment. That's often a slept on effect is these guys afterwards, they got ice packs all over them, right? They do a lot for us, so the least we can do is really show our appreciation for them, right? Obviously, this is a tragic event. You could just imagine there's, not much to be said on it other than just totally horrific, kind of situation. But, we wish the best for their family. And obviously, we all hope to learn from this situation, just do the best we can in the future to avoid senseless accidents like this happening.
Absolutely. And hey, like you said, Brian, I mean, you say you live in Calgary. The love at the Saddle Dome has been crazy. Yeah, I've seen some of the stuff. It's crazy. We got, of course, Flames Digest. Mark Griffith. He's over in Calgary as well. He saw a bunch of that outpouring. So yeah. So great comment. Very good point. If Kent Hughes can do anything, whatever it is, I'm sure he'll be helping the Jackets organization with anything that they deem that they want from Montreal. So hoping that all is good on that front. So we'll take a bit off of the sad note as we're gonna end up closing off the stream very soon, Jesse. But I do have to highlight, there's no easy transition to that. So again, rest in peace, Matthew and Johnny Gaudreau. Thank you so much for those comments. We'll get back to the chats just for the last bit of the stream. I want to say, Jason Patrick, welcome. Thank you so much for becoming a channel member, Jason Patrick. Really good to see you there. I think I've seen you in the chat quite a bit before, so good to have you here. And Simone Desjardins, another $10 donation, just saying, let's spread the love. And you know what? What better time to spread the love than right now? Very good time to send that. There's so much negativity, but at the same time, there's so much sadness recently in the hockey world. Spreading that love, spreading that positivity is something we do all the time, and it's something that you guys do such a fantastic job of. So thank you so much for all of this stuff in there, Jesse. Any final words before we end off the stream? Maybe read a couple more chats before we close things off.
No, again, obviously, we're just blown away by the support. We just appreciate getting to do this. This is why we're so happy to do the lives. Actually, as an opportunity just to say thank you, because Josh and I, we talk about it all the time. We appreciate the support. We realize that our community is one of a kind, with the positivity, with the love, with the support, the sense of kind of encouraging just other people, right? And just being able to chat about the Habs all together is really just something that's so great for all of us. We know hockey. I heard it in the comments the other day, it's therapy, right? You go, you have a hard day at work, you're watching hockey, you're getting to talk about the Habs as we get to do. And it's just something where, you just kind of get to take a little bit of a break, still get to focus on something fun, be around your friends, be around your family. And that's what we love to do here at Habs Digest.
It's absolutely amazing stuff. So I'm going to take a quick little look. Fly high, boys, absolutely. He's one of Bob Hartley's favorite players, says a lot for sure. Blanco saying Yager had a nice post, but his last NHL goal was from a Gaudreau assist. That's a great point, too. I saw that highlight. Absolutely unreal. Lucas saying you guys work for a bigger company. Well, look, we were in pretty early on the ground floor, but if you take a look around YouTube for Digest Media, we got over 30 sports channels now. So look, take a look. Search up Your Team Digest. We got a lot of hockey teams, a lot of basketball. We're breaking into the NFL this season. We got some baseball teams in there as well. So hey, we got some WWE. We got some interesting stuff. So if you're interested in the stuff that we do and you want to see similar stuff for other teams that you guys like, go have a look. There's all kinds of Digest Media channels out there. So yeah, we are part of a bigger thing going on YouTube. One day hoping to make it huge. Almost at 14,000 subs. That's another big thing. And to end it off, Jesse, what a better time than Doug Saylor re-upping his Rocket Richard tier membership. Absolutely unbelievable support. Thank you so much, Doug. I'll send you a message after as well privately. Just unbelievable stuff. This season's going to be fun. You know what? I don't think I could have put it better myself, Jesse. This is any final things before we head off?
Man, I just can't wait to watch that first game, be able to react to it all together. We got some special things planned for you guys as well. Maybe a little bit of collaboration. We were talking about the Digest Media Network, maybe kind of getting in. There might be, we're hearing that Leafs Digest is chirping us a little bit right now. So we might need Habs Digest to come in, kind of rally support. So we got lots of spicy and new, fresh things for you guys this year.
Keep an eye on that, fellas. Just saying. But on that note, we'll end it there. That'll do it for this live episode of Habs Digest. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. It's free. The button down below. You don't need to donate. You don't need to do anything. It's completely free to see our videos every single day. Hit the like on your way out. We really appreciate all the unbelievable support from Doug, from Real Estate, from Denis Ranger, from absolutely everyone else who was sending donations and becoming channel members in this chat. Brian Lalonde, so many other people. It's unbelievable support, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Thank you so much. We'll see. I messed with the outro, but you know what? It doesn't matter because most people aren't going to make it to this point. Thank you, everyone.